So the second plane from Israel has arrived in the capital city of Lilongwe in Malawi to pick up the second batch of young people who are going to work on the farms in Israel. This is Yao Bantu back again. We are following keenly the story that is unfolding in Malawi and a topic of hot debate, both within the country of Malawi and outside the country. Why is this such a controversy? Malawi is in the process of sending up to 5,000 of its young people between the age of 23 and 32 to Israel, a country which is at war. That's where the core of the debate is. 221 young people already left for Israel about 2 weeks ago, forming the first batch of young Malawians to be working on those farms. So the second plane from Israel is on the ground, as we said. As you can see, a very well-renowned reporter reported on this and has pictures showing that plane in Lilongwe, the capital city. So as we go along, I think we are going to see more and more of these planes arriving and picking up these young people, because as we said, the agreement with the Malawi government, which has been confirmed by the government of Malawi, is that there are going to be 5,000 workers going there. So just going on the eye test on social media, it seems to me that Malawians are divided half and half. Half are for and half are against. Those who are against are saying the timing is wrong because Israel is a country at war. And those who are for are saying that these young people have the opportunity for employment. So with that, let us hear from one of those young men who are currently in Israel, who went with the first batch.
Hi, I'm Andrew Jang Lyman Mongulu. I'm here all the way from Israel. So many people are talking about says Malawians are in Israel for fighting. No, we're not here for fighting. We are here to work. In the short, we are here for work. So this is our office. This is our farm in which our main duty is to remove some weeds from these flowers. So this is our first greenhouse. Then after that, we have got other ones over there. And we're not only here, only Malawians, no. We have got some of our colleagues from Thailand. So you can see over there. So those are our workmates from different countries, different areas. So as I said, I'm in Israel. So this I take as a huge or a great opportunity for me. Why? Because the moment I'll be here, I'm going to learn more about agriculture, so that whatever I may learn here, I can implement in my country, in Malawi, so that as time goes, I gotta be someone or to be called someone. Why? Because I'm going to get more ideas, more knowledge here, especially from what? From Israel. So I love my duty, I love my work, and I love Malawi. So love you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching me all the way from Israel. Shalom.
So I guess the main takeaways from what he says are that there is no military engagement. The reason why he makes this point is because part of the debate was thought that these young people are going to fight, join the IDF against Hamas. Now, is that such a wrong thing to think about? No, it is a very reasonable thought, a very reasonable debate, because you're thinking, okay, there is a country that's at war and there are young people from a certain country going to that country, flocking to that country in batches. What are they going to do? You're automatically thinking they're going to fight, isn't it? So those are questions needed to be asked, and they have to be continuously asked to cover for the duration of their journey, so that our young people should not be involved in things that they shouldn't be involved in. 80 days yet. I mean, there are barely 2 weeks there. Early days. The permits, work permits are for 5 years. So we ought to be careful. All the government has to be careful that these young men are not exposed to something else. The other striking thing is that he has dreams and aspirations. This young man is proud of what he's doing. He's satisfied, he's happy, he can see his future. And this is what a job does, isn't it? This is what a income generating activity does for you. You are able to provide for your family, especially being a man, or even women, but mostly men, because you're going to be the one in charge of your family, and you have to have this ability to provide for the family in the first place, isn't it? You are the head of the family. So it's a matter of pride, isn't it? But the alternatives for this young man was to be on the street and do nothing. like many young people in Africa, in Malawi and across the continent. But I'm not saying that it's a good move. I'm just saying that from a human aspect of it, I'll never slate or speak bad about anyone who's trying to make a living. They're being forced to make a decision because of their circumstances. Like there is no alternatives, there are no choices for me, I just have to go there. And I was thinking, if I were in their shoes, I don't have a job, I don't know where the next meal is gonna come from, I'm in the prime of my life, I'm the most productive age, what do I do? And if that offer came, would I say no? In my silent state, in my thinking, I said, you know what, I think I would go, all right? I think I would go. I've been forced to make that decision because I'm living in a country that has no jobs for me, that has no prospects for me, right? A state of hopelessness, what are my options? Maybe a life of crime and violence. And that's not a good option. The tough option would be to go there at a war zone and try to make the most of it. And those are very tough decisions. But again, these are forced upon our young people. There are some other young people from Zimbabwe who have made inquiries about these jobs. They want to leave Zimbabwe to go and work there, right? So they can earn an income. So this is just like a reflection of what our continent, the state of our countries are. Not every country, but some of our countries. What are the root causes? We all know these root causes. The failure of leadership. Actually, Professor P.L. Lumumba emphasizes this point again and again. It says we elect the West people to govern us, to lead us. And this is across the continent, but I'm not talking about Malawi, I'm just talking about in general. We can talk here till the cows come home all night, whatever. We know that our countries, that Africa is endowed with a lot of minerals and riches, but we all know this. But the fact of the matter is that we are quite poor at the moment, isn't it? The people who have governed us have led us to this state, because when they're in power, it's all about preservation of privilege. The privileges that they have are preserved for themselves, their girlfriends, their wives, children, nieces, and their connections. If you're outside of that, you have no chance. And then there's issues of corruption, and these are the same people. And that is part of preservation of privilege, the corruption. They milk the government, they take the money, everything, and they don't care about anybody. And this has been going on for decades and decades. Lack of foresight. In the case of Malawi, there is a population boom. The country has about nearly 20 million people, and most of them are young people, right? We never looked into the future, maybe decades ago, and say, oh, look, the way our population is going, these young people will need jobs. Now, there are so many young people without jobs. What are they going to do? And that is quite a dangerous state to be in, where you have all these young, energetic people, productive people doing nothing. You don't want that situation. You want to keep them occupied in business, in technology, education, farming, and everything. Like invest in human capital, which we haven't. We all know this. I'm not saying anything new. I'm just saying something that's been ongoing. And also you see that same sort of patterns in the north and west of Africa. Our young people make these treacherous journeys to Europe. Every time they face the real danger of death. If you know Francis Ngannou, the MMA fighter, he's now a big name. He lost his fight against Tyson Fury a few weeks ago, but now he's a big name. He's done very well for himself. But he tells of his journey from Cameroon into France. The journeys, he could have been killed so many times on his journey. Probably the obvious one is escalation of hostilities. If the war escalates, they need to be retrieved, they need to be evacuated. Who is going to bring him home? To Malawi or to any other country, African country that they need to go to. The reason why I have asked this, if you followed the Ukraine war at the start of it, you saw the horrible treatment of Africans there, and you saw how desperate and difficult to get out of the Ukraine, because the governments don't send evacuation planes or anything like that. It was so bad. So have we learned enough from Ukraine? Have we learned? And also look at COVID. Africans in China were being persecuted, saying you brought COVID into this country. You saw that, don't you? How do we take people out of those situations? Do we have the plan? Culture shocks. Some things that you do when you're in Malawi or in Africa or whatever else you're coming from, and you try to do them elsewhere. And this sort of drives a wedge between people and immigrants, because you just don't understand each other at a certain level, and these nuances takes a long time to navigate. All right, so there will be that, and then this is where the problems comes in as well. Racism will come up at some point. It would inevitably come up. And how are you going to deal with this? Are you going to leave? There are going to be young people that want to leave because of the treatment. These issues will start to surface in a few weeks when the honeymoon is over. But I'm sure there are other issues that you can think of, but I can foresee this is inevitable. Where African immigrants or general immigrants are, these issues will always surface, and they will be there, and they're coming. Are we ready for that? Are they ready for that? Are these young people ready for it? Are the government just thinking, okay, they'll be fine? They won't be just fine. Thank you for your comments. Please leave more comments, discussion. This is a very good discussion to have, and I'll see you next time.